Good morning, everyone. I think you can do better than that. I said, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Okay, that's better. It's what, Wednesday, July 1st. We're happy to be here, so let's act like it. My name is Kenyatta Posey, and on behalf of the TRiO University Student Support Services and Upward Bound staff, we are so excited to have each and every one of you here with us today participating in this wonderful event. We would like to welcome each of you to our TRiO Day Conference. Our theme today is Forging Together to Make an Impact on the Future. And at this time, we will hear greetings from Dr. Hall Farmer, Associate Provost Dean.
It's good to be with you this morning on behalf of TRiO University. We want to welcome you on behalf of Dr. Jack Hawkins Jr., our Chancellor, and Dr. Earl Ingram, who's our Senior Vice Chancellor for Academics, that is my boss. We want to welcome you as well. It's good to have you here. It's good to host the conference. We believe in TRiO at TRiO University. It's been our privilege as well as a pleasure to have been involved with TRiO now for a number of years, and we believe it makes a difference. It's a real privilege of mine to work with Mary Griffin and her team and to look at the results that we see every single semester and every single year and know that it matters very much. I want to comment just for a minute or two, and I know that we have a full program today and I won't take too much of your time, but I'm reminded that the theme today deals with the future. And I'm reminded on the last night of his life, Dr. Martin Luther King stood in that Masonic Hall in Memphis, Tennessee, and he delivered remarks that are some of the most profoundly moving in the history of the country, and also some of the most eerily prophetic. And if you're familiar with those remarks, one of the things that Dr. King talked about was that longevity had its place, but that if he didn't get there with the group that he was talking to, that he knew that they would get to the promised land, that he had looked over and seen it like Moses, who didn't quite get there, but could look across and see the promised land. And the next day, his life was ended. Now, I share that with you as a reminder that so much of the time we live in the moment. We live in the moment because we're remarkably busy, and all we have time to think about is, can I get from this moment to the next moment, where I'm going to be busy with something else. I also share it with you because we live in the moment because that is what the world wants us to do. We live in a time when being in the moment is both a kind of protection and a kind of social norm. And what I want to offer to you about the future is that we have to think outside the moment. We have to think outside what's going to happen in the next 5 minutes, or even in the next week, or even in the next year. And part of the challenge that I want to offer you on the journey that you're on as a student especially is that you're pursuing something that will build a dividend for the rest of your life if you can see beyond the moment. There isn't anything at all that you will ever earn, anything that you will ever acquire that will accrue value like a college education. And if you're on that path to pursue a college education, let me encourage you that there's nothing else that you can pick up along the way that's going to build the kind of value that a degree will. And I'll tell you how I know that. You can live to be 105, and there are people in this room who will live to be that old. That's what the scientists tell us. As Dr. King said, longevity has its place, and some of you will have longevity. And if you live to be 105 and you die in your sleep surrounded by 6 generations of your family, and they come to write your life story, and they're going to write about all the amazing things you've done. If you have a college education and a degree, they're going to mention it when they write about you. All the things that you do, they're going to mention that. And that degree might be 70 years old, it might be 80 years old, it might be 90 years old, but they will mention it. And if you don't think so, go pick up a paper and look at an obituary. Because if you have a college degree, it gets talked about. That's a value greater than Google stock or Facebook stock or any other stock that we have had or will have. But you've got to be beyond the moment. You've got to see the future. You've got to see the promised land, and you've got to work to get there. And TRiO is such a part of that in helping students and ultimately helping our own future achieve. So congratulations on the things you are doing. Congratulations on the things you have done. Congratulations on the things that you will yet do. And as Dr. King said, and so many of us would recognize, I may not see that. I may not be there when you do it. But I want you to know that I have seen the future, and it's sitting in front of me. And we are incredibly proud, honored, privileged, and excited about what you will do. So welcome again to Troy. Have a great conference today. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Former. He is definitely telling the truth. As a grad student, I just left Troy last May, and I'm back at Troy. And my education is something I value greatly. At this time, we will have our TRiO director, Miss Mary Griffin, come up with a few remarks.
Good morning, TRiO. Good morning. Come on now, this is not, come on, you all know TRiO can do it better than that. Good morning, TRiO. Good morning. Much better, much better. I am truly honored to be able to stand here this morning and to welcome you to our Troy University very first TRiO Day Conference. Ms. Buffy Williams and the TRiO Conference Committee have worked extremely hard to design this conference with each of you in mind. So I hope that you came today to be educated, motivated, and entertained, because that is what our conference is all about. We have outstanding plenary speakers on task for today, as well as outstanding presenters. And I want to go ahead and say this. This particular conference is unique in that all of our presenters, as far as our concurrent sessions are concerned, are former TRiO participants or TRiO alumni or current TRiO participants of Troy University. So with that in mind, please know that TRiO works, because you will have an opportunity to witness that on today. Again, I say welcome, 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 and as Ms. Brianna McDougle come forward to assist with the roll call, I'm going to say, TRiO, make some noise as your program is called, so that we will know that you're in the house today and that you came to be inspired.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Brianna McDougle, the former Miss Black and Gold for the Xi Beta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, and I am also a 2-year participant of the Student Support Services programs. Right now, I just want you all to represent whatever school you are participating with today. So when I call it, just make some noise or do whatever your heart desires. All right? Alabama State University's Student Support Services program. All right. Is Enterprise State Community College Student Support Service here? No? Okay, that's fine. And last but not least, Troy University's TRiO program. Thank you all so much for coming out this morning.
One more time for Troy University TRiO and Student Support Services. Well, you can print PowerPoints if you put it in the the like 6 per slides per sheet, you can print them for free. I love that. Thank you all for that. I appreciate that. At this time, we will have a Merit of Artistic Expressions by Angie Kendall and Jordyn Elston.
Racial discrimination will not end until there's first some general spoken truth and reconciliation. Now, what can I be talking about? Many people say that doesn't still exist. Well, let's refer back to Trayvon Martin, Walter Scott. Eric Gardner, clearly being black does put you at an additional risk. Society is still ugly. It just learned to wear makeup. It's time for us to wake up and realize that we're no longer fighting for a greater good before stronger hate. And I'm not looking for the white man's sympathy because I know that there's no way he can relate. So let's stop the fighting in the streets, the police brutality, and let's not forget black on black crime because statistically, we're taking ourselves out faster than the police can get to us. Statistically, it's hard to avoid becoming a statistic. But I don't think this is the end. No, I believe we're far from that. Why? Because this generation is filled with the young MLKs, the young Malcolm X's, the plan makers and the game changers and the people that are really gonna make a difference. So let's continue to shout, I can't breathe, Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. How many more lives have to be lost before real change is brought about? Thank you.
Thank you. That was very, very moving. Young people, please take note. We are now. We are the future, and that's what we're here for today. At this time, we will have Ms. Rembert to introduce our wonderful speaker.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, TRiO. All right. My name is Rebecca Money Rembert, and I'm the English Reading Specialist for Troy University Student Support Services here at Main Campus. And I am very pleased to introduce our opening Plenary 1 speaker for this TRiO Day conference. Her name is Ms. Wendy K. McGee. I met Wendy McGee when she and I were students here at Troy University. Wendy was active in student organizations and a friend to many fellow students, mainly because of her down-to-earth personality, her kind heart, and what we refer to as Wendy-isms. Wendy-isms are those witty but wise expressions that she became well known for speaking. Wendy graduated from Troy University in 1990 with her Bachelor of Science degree in Accounting and Computer Science. Presently, Wendy holds the following professional distinctions. She is the CEO of Kendrick McGee Consulting since 1999, the founder and chair of the board of Kendrick McGee Charitable Foundation since 2014, a certified master baker trained at the Institute of Culinary Education, Baking and Pastry School in New York City, the head baker and owner of Daisy's Desserts, which has provided desserts for well-known television programs and movies, and a member of the Atlanta Business League. Wendy McGee most definitely is a rising star, and she's a philanthropist at heart. So without further delay, I present to some and introduce to others our speaker for this morning, Ms. Wendy K. McGee. So please make her feel welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My nephew was telling me to get off my phone, but I was trying to get something to pump y'all up. So everybody on your feet. Come on, get up now. Get up, get up, get up. Come on. I know y'all can do better than that this morning. Come on. Good morning, everyone. I was trying to get my nerve up a little bit too. Thank you so much for having me here. It's a pleasure to come back home again. And when Rebecca started reading off what I've done, I'm exhausted. But I really appreciate being here. I'm only going to hold you for a short while, and you're in the right place at the right time, and I appreciate you guys giving me just a little bit of time this morning. With the conference theme being Forging Together to Make Impact on the Future, that's a very, very, very bold statement. And all of you sitting in these seats and those who are on their way, this is your time. Get what you need to make an impact on your future. So what I'm gonna just talk to you briefly about today is what I call the power of T. There's a lot of T's that are going on in our lives today, and I just wanted to talk to you about a few of them. Your first stepping off point is this TRiO program. You have wonderful leaders who have your best interest at heart. You know, follow them, listen to them, question them. They're here for you. And this program, which is actually funded by the federal government, is just a way that we as citizens of this great country are helping those who are willing to help themselves. This program will catapult you to places you've never even imagined in your mind. One of my proudest moments is to know that my nephew was a part of this program and was asked to speak at this place before, just right before me. So this program has come close to our family by giving so much back to the youth of today. So this is your first step, and get everything you can. Get everything you can. Everybody is willing to give you what they have in their experiences to help you move forward in your lives. And TRiO, your first stop. And our next T is teachers. And a lot of times we think of teachers as people who got degrees from colleges and sit in your K through 12 situations. But your teachers come from everywhere, from little kids to older people to people you pass in the street. So education comes from anybody, and they can be known as a teacher. I have a 1-year-old niece who teaches me what love means when I pick her up and she lays her head on my shoulder. She's teaching me that that's unconditional love. And she's just a little girl. She's a Gemini like me, which makes her special, but she's just a little girl, and she teaches me every time I pick her up what love is. You know, friends like Miss Rembert, she and I have been friends for a long time, and we got together after not sitting and talking for over 5 years, and it was like we just started. She's teaching me what loyalty is and what friendship is. You know, so you can learn from anything and anybody. My staff, who I work for, I thought they should work for me, but I technically work for them. They teach me things all the time. They call me grandma because I have the text on my phone is like the largest font there is. Oh, you know, you can, deposit a check through your phone. You don't have to go to the bank. So we're constantly learning from people who aren't officially teachers, but they're teaching us every day. So any teacher that you've known, besides your parents, your grade school teachers are the first people to actually give you knowledge through their experiences and what they've learned in their lives. So embrace your teachers. They are underpaid and overworked, but we still need to appreciate them. I tried to make it a point to let the teachers who impacted my life know how much of an impact they did make and thank them as much as I can. I've volunteered in the school system. God bless them all for their patience because it's a hard job. So please make sure that you take time to say thank you to those who teach you what you know. My grandmother was probably one of the smartest people I've ever met, and I think she went to 6th grade, but she lived to be 100 plus. So the things that she taught us as a family was almost just undeniable. One of my uncles told me that I couldn't even boil water without scotching the pot. And now I bake for dignitaries and movies, and even some of the crazy Real Housewives of Atlanta have asked me to do things for them. Spike Lee, I've been around the world, and everybody wants to know if I'm riding cakes around in my car. But, that tells you right there, some of the things you didn't think you learned, you'll wake up one day like me, and I realized I was my mother. because all the things that they told us, you're like, yeah, we don't want to hear that. But they taught you things so that you could use it if they're here or if they're not. So embrace your teachers, whomever they are. The other T for me has always been travel. If any of you know anybody in my family know that the Lord blessed me not to have kids, because I'd be at the airport like I forgot something, because I needed to be able to have a way to go, and I'm always on the go. And traveling around the world has made me appreciate the USA, but it's also made me appreciate other cultures. I was in the Middle East during the outbreak in Cairo, Egypt, and the propaganda on the TV will tell you that those people don't care for Americans, but we were treated like royalty as we stepped off the plane by not only the women in the burqas, but the women wearing blue jeans. So just get yourself a passport and make sure you have to order pages, because this is a huge world to see. I've been in West Africa, where we traveled like the distance from here to Montgomery, and it took us 17 hours because you had to bribe to get through the checkpoints. The roads were so bad that we were literally having to get out and push the car so we could get through. From being in the middle of the bush where people were worshiping concrete pylons. But these are people that taught me something. They taught me that the God I serve is real, because these people are still making strides and living their lives. And they have joy in their faces when they see us. Africa is where we're from. It's the mother of all creation, not just black people, but creation, because the oldest bones were found on the continent of Africa. South Africa is just like Atlanta, where I live. It's hustling and it's bustling, and there's malls and overpriced cars and all of the things that we all seem to see the rappers and the celebrities driving. It's just the same thing. So get out and see it. My goal is to visit all 50 states before I leave this world, and to travel and see different cultures. My passport has more pages than I care to tell you. It doesn't even look like a passport anymore, but I use that as my tool to get to see things that are outside of my purview. We've taken kids all over the world to see different things, and I'm pleased to tell you we had a girl to graduate from the Oprah School in South Africa, and now she's going to be living in Russia, of all places, afterwards. So, get you a passport and just go. Don't be afraid. One thing about it is the U.S. is a powerhouse in the world of protection. Get your passport, sign up with the U.S. consulate in the country that you're going to, and you'll be just fine. The world is your oyster, as they say. You don't want to wait till you're the old people on the cruise. You want to be able to run and enjoy those things. Our foundation allows us to see those things, to be able to travel the world and see different places. So I'm going to pound this into your head. Get yourself a passport. And when you're ready to go, connect with us, and we'll be happy to take you along. The other thing is your talent. Who knows what your talent is? At first, I thought being an engineer was the thing that I needed to do. But who knew how soothing it was to standing my own baking kitchen to bake? I shared my talents with my nephew, who now makes better frosting than I do. But it was something that he was willing to work at, so he did it. Share your talents with your friends, your family, and the world. You can make an impression. You can really, really, really make an impression. We see people like Beyonce and Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj and all of these celebrities and things like that. They're still just people. But you know what's common about those people? They took their talents to the world. Thanks to a little bit of auto-tune, a little bit more than others. But, they took it out there and they took a chance. Because when you share your talent with someone else, you never, ever know who you're going to inspire. My niece and I were sitting at the table last night working on some things for her, and she was like, "You really know that?" And I was like, "Yeah, I went to college," and it was a joke because she went to Troy as well. But we know that we work together and we share what we know, and we help out those that we love and care about. So share your talents. Share your talents at Troy. Because the Troy Alumni Network is amazing. It's amazing, and the people are amazing because we all come from the same background. And just think, sharing your talent allows us to see who you are and then let other people know who you are. I had no idea that having dinner with a good friend would lead me here to stand in front and talk to you. And until we were putting together my bio, I really didn't realize all the things that I had done, because in my mind, it's just a day's work, right? But you have to share those talents, because you never know who's gonna, like for me, taste your cake, or who's gonna know that you're an engineer and work for colleges. I worked at the University of California, which catapulted me to working at all colleges around the country. And, my cakes got Spike Lee to come to Atlanta just to hold a film festival just for me and my staff. So you never know what just one little sharing of your talent will do. You have to wake up and do it, though. Be on time, be there, be present, because, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late, because someone else could have gotten it, right? Are we awake still? Do we need to hear some more music? Okay, good. All right. And a couple more things before I take my seat. Teamwork. I know you heard me talk a lot about my family. Yeah, we're like all families. We don't always get along, but we always have each other's back, right? Teamwork is important. It's very, very important. And you don't have to always like your teammate, but you have to always have their back, right? So I give all of my technology staff, not so much my bakery staff, but my technology staff, I give all of them the number 6. The number 6 in military terms means I have your back, right? If you hear from the military, they'll say, I got your 6. That means don't worry about what's behind you, because I got that. You just need to forge forward. And all of the people that have sacrificed to bring you here, they have your 6. So make sure that you make them proud and make yourself proud, because it's important that we as a people move forward. My grandfather was a very wise man. He said, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. So if they call you a thug, or if they call you non-educated or ignorant or all of those things, if you answer to that, they've hit the nail on the head, and they've actually defined your future, I was always told I wasn't pretty enough, I wasn't thin enough. When I came to this campus, one of the guys who had the biggest crush on, I wasn't thin enough. But guess what? He called to ask me for a job. He wasn't smart enough, right? So there you go. And I could have been a little, I could have rubbed it in. Just me saying no rubbed it in far enough, right? And I'm not telling you to be as kind of a little crass as I was with that, but, team up with the right people. And if they're not bringing something positive to your life, step away from that. It could be friends, it could be family. But togetherness, you got to be around like-minded people. And because we all know what the word says, right? I don't have to tell you, because we all were told. But make sure you put yourself in the company of those who can not only help you, but you can help them. There's power in numbers. If you remember the Planet of the Apes movie, just as Caesar learned to talk, he picked up a stick, and he held it, and he snapped it. But then he picked up multiple sticks, and he put them together, and he attempted to snap those, and it didn't work. That just says there's power in numbers. If you're out there alone, you're really flailing in the wind. You need someone to have your 6. And that's where, as part of this together, the theme for this is forging together. You can make all the difference in the world. There's power in numbers. There's power in numbers. And for my last point, or next to the last, is Troy. For all of you students, high school students, Troy is an amazing place to be. You know, Troy birthed me. I had a lot going on, you know, while I was at Troy. I lost my mother, and thankfully to Miss Rembert and her family, her mom stepped right in and mothered me, and my oldest sister mothered me. But Troy is a great place to start. Troy has educated the majority of my family who's graduated from college, and we continue to grow with that. Like I said earlier, the Troy network is an amazing place. You come to Atlanta, you can't imagine the number of Troy graduates that are there. And they're not just working, they have careers. They're not just existing, they're making money. They're making decisions. You know, they're able to hire and fire what they see necessary. So this is a great place, you know. It's not Alabama football, it's not Auburn football, but it's Troy. It's unique. It's us. It's in our soul, you know. I actually never wanted to go, well, I kind of wanted to go to Alabama State, but I didn't think my wardrobe would make it through Alabama State at first. And then my mother was like, where do you want to go and what do you want to be? And all I could say is I want to be successful. And Troy made me that. And I can, no matter where, you know, a lot of people say when they move away, I'm from Atlanta. Nope, I'm from Luverne. Actually, I'm from Rutledge. I went to Luverne High School, and I graduated from Troy. And I'm proud to say that. I graduated from Troy State University, right? That was me. Don't calculate the age, but I look good at my age. So. But I graduated from Troy State University, and for that, I'm very, very proud. I'm very proud, and I'm proud for you guys to have me here, and I'm thankful that I can share just a little bit of some of the things that people have shared with me in the past. Nothing I've said to you is new. It was shared with me, you know, and it's just my job to pay it forward. I'm proud to be from this part of the country, and I'm proud to be a Troy graduate. So, one more time, let's talk about the last T. In my mind, as you can see, I don't know that little dance. I could work on that later. But one thing about me, I have a theme song for everything. Music is one of those things that can take you places that you thought you forgot. You know, you can hear, for me, I can hear, there's a gospel song called This Old Building Keeps on Leaning, and I can hear Mrs. Lowry singing that at our church. I don't care where I hear it, it takes me right back there. You know, every time I hear Let's Get It Started by MC Hammer, I think about the club that we used to go to down in Troy, that you could barely step in before you're looking cute and all sweated out, hair gone, but that brings me back to there, you know. And I feel like even the superheroes got a theme song, right? You know, Batman got a theme song, Wonder Woman got a theme song. I have several, and it depends on the occasion. And one of the ones that have really kept me pumped up lately, because I've been in a battle with men trying to tell me what to do. I think they forgot who they were talking to, but it's when your name is on the front and the back of the check, you get to make the decisions, and they tend to forget that. So right now, as I'm in a warfare with these men trying to tell me how to run a business I've ran for 20 years, I had to come up with this new theme song. So stand up and let's listen to my theme song as I say thank you and take my seat. This tells you that you're a treasure, no matter what anybody says. Come on, y'all, I know it's early, but we gotta get moving. Know that no one can define you and that you're a treasure no matter what, right? I know it's not the nay-nay, but y'all can get with this song now. I need Peyton up here to sing, but I appreciate you and Godspeed.
need that music today. Think about it. I don't know about you all, but I've been inspired today. And we want to take this opportunity to thank Ms. Whitney McGee for returning to Troy. Thank you so much. And just, once again, I said earlier, TRiO works, but I'm gonna say Troy State University works, because I too am a graduate of Troy State University, which is near and dear to my heart. But Ms. McGee, we can't pay you for what you have just shared with us, but we do have a certificate of our appreciation for your taking the time to come and to help us to open up our first annual TRiO Day Conference.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Well, I just want to say that was an awesome speech. To be 23 and to hear that, I'm telling you guys, to be a part of this first annual TRiO Day Conference, you're making history. Think about 10, 20 years from now, you can be here speaking like Ms. Griffin about traveling the world, about being ambassadors and presidents. And I mean, just think about it. You gotta really think about your future. That's what we're here for. And I promise you, this is some good stuff you're getting right now. So take heed to it. I promise you, you're gonna need it tomorrow. You're gonna need it next week. You're gonna need it next month.
At this point in time, I want to again just say a very special thank you to our speaker, our entertainers, and now as we have all had an opportunity to take part in this open plenary, I must say that it continues to get better and better as the day goes on. So now we are about to bring our opening plenary to a close so that you will now have an opportunity to hear some inspiring and encouraging words from those students who have had an opportunity to take part in our TRiO programs and who have had an opportunity to move out into the world and use the tools that were provided to them while being participants here at Troy University, not only on main campus, but on the Montgomery and the Dothan campus as well. So we're going to allow our presenters an opportunity to go ahead and to exit the building so that they can go and get set up in Patterson Hall where our concurrent sessions will be held. I know that we are a little behind schedule, but you know, when something's good, you just can't put a time to it. So we're going to play catch up a little later on, but what I will say is prepare your minds to be fed with food. I'm thinking about our speaker now. See, she talked about the baking, and of course I'm standing here and I'm hungry. So prepare your minds to be fed with the spoken word that is about to be provided to each of you by our presenters during our next concurrent session. I promise you that the day will be filled with informative information that's going to assist you to make it to the next level in life. And I say the next level because as I look out at the audience, I realize that we have individuals here who are on so many different levels. So I'm going to say you're going to be fed with knowledge that you will be able to use to move to the next level.